From We Are Spectacular, this is a Spectacular Marketing Podcast. A podcast about everything brand, marketing, digital and social for the food and drink industry and beyond. So today we have a bit of a special in the Spectacular Marketing Podcast. We have the joy of having Harry Bamber and Tom Jackson, who are the co-heads of Twisted. And they are actually real entrepreneurs and millennials and are the minds behind one of the most forward-thinking social media content platforms, which actually became a delivery-only restaurant from the social media platforms. It's a great chat where we talk about all things food, drink and content, including pizza cones, how they got to 1 million Facebook followers within weeks of starting, how to get to viral content and how to create it, also what to watch on Netflix and why Bailey's is becoming cool again. So it gives me the most pleasure ever for a couple of reasons. We're in a fantastic facility today, a huge big studio, triple the size of usual, in an Alan Partridge style, Mid-Morning Matters. And I'm joined by two Twisted individuals, the amazing Harry Bamber and Tom Jackson. Good morning.
Good morning.
Amazing to have you in here, your smiley, young, bright millennial faces.
Yeah, wicked to be here.
Thanks for having us.
No, thank you for coming along. I'm so glad that we've caught up again. So we've met on a couple of occasions. So we've had panel discussions and a couple of quick handshakes in the passing. And yeah, I've just been so excited and inspired by what you guys have been doing. And actually, I've been really ashamed of myself that we've not spent some time together. So we've not ever had that coffee. We've not ever sat down and properly talked about Twisted and your journey and what's been going on. And I've been a bit selfish and I've done it as a kind of double bubble to do it as a podcast and also find out much more about it. So thanks for coming in.
Yeah, no worries.
Thanks.
Making up for lost time.
That's true.
That's why we've got a swanky booth.
And I have to say as well, you were very punctual today.
Yes, maybe too punctual. To get a coffee.
Yeah, it's very good. It's very good. So, amazing journey in terms of Twisted and where it's got to. I mean, really the talk of the town. And actually, sort of almost a bit shame on the industry not hooking into you guys much, much more. So, I think the first thing I would say is, you know, shout out to everyone in the industry to get you guys in for a chat, to say, you know, for me, it's content. I'm now thoroughly disappointed in myself for not videoing this podcast. I should really have thought about that. But anyway, voice is good. At least it's a start.
Yeah.
But really thinking about 2019, 20, etc., it's all about content. It's all about attention on the phone, and it's all about delivering your stories in a very different way. And I think you guys are doing that in a really, really exciting 360 kind of way. So, yeah, I guess the way I was wanting to start off was just figuring out how you've got here and got so annoyingly successful at such a young age. So, yeah, what's the deal? What happened?
Well, so I guess it probably starts with Harry joining, so I'll let him start with that.
Yeah, we'll start at the beginning. So I actually knew Jamie, the CEO of Jungle, from university. I went to Manchester and did politics there. And I actually lived with him at one point. And I went into sales. I did something different. And a couple of years in, I decided, it really wasn't for me. I really wanted to work in food in some capacity. But I wasn't sure the traditional hospitality route was something that I had huge experience in. And I didn't know where to go through that. So luckily, I sat down with Jamie one night and we were having dinner. And he said, look, I've got this young company, Jungle Creations. There were only about 6 or 7 employees at that point. And he said, we're thinking about doing something with food. How does that sound? Are you interested in that kind of thing? And obviously, I jumped at it. It involved working from my flat. He gave me a GoPro to practice on. And he was like, look, I want 3 videos a day. You're cooking, you're washing, you're ordering, you're cleaning up, you're writing the recipes, and they're going online. So I took the job, as mad as it sounds. and started working on one of our other communities, which is not Twisted, which is called VT Food Envy. And at that time, there were these recipe videos that I was making, but there were also lots of other aggregated content that we got from across the web that we had permission for. So we started putting these videos live, and they started doing really, really well. And I was kind of bashing them out and doing my best, and we started to see some growth, and that page got to about 700,000 followers or so within 6 months. But it became quite clear that I was starting to get more of a hang of the production side of things. I really wanted to move into filming and editing, and I wasn't really a good enough cook to carry this forward. So we worked out we really needed a chef. So Tom actually applied semi for an editor's role, or at least got his foot in the door saying he was an editor, and then approached Jamie, our CEO, and said, actually, I'm a chef. I think you need a chef. And we all agreed we definitely needed a chef. So in January of 2016?
Yep.
2016, Tom and I started working together. And after a couple of months, we decided, because this content was performing so well, it might be worth setting up a brand new community or brand new channel on Facebook to kind of house just these original recipe videos. And we set up Twisted in March 2016. And within a month, or within 5.5 weeks, we had 1 million followers. Which is pretty amazing, pretty mad.
So, organically, no funny business?
No funny business, all organically. We kind of hit it right at the sweet spot. Food media on Facebook specifically was really starting to take off. We were one of the earlier companies to do it. And we just found a stylistic and a kind of content strategy that really worked. And it just went from strength to strength, and it was pretty amazing first 6 weeks.
Some paid behind it?
No paid.
No.
Just pure organic?
Yeah, pure organic. And we were, I think what was really interesting about the way that we started to think about the food content that we put on Twisted was that we were working in a room that was working on another community, which is now VT, which is obviously one of the largest news entertainment pages on Facebook. And there was definitely a focus there on really good views, really good engagement, and I think that kind of guided our the kind of recipes that Harry and I were working on. We really wanted people to be really excited by everything that we were making, and we really wanted to see big views, because that would mean that lots of people were seeing our food and getting excited about cooking, and that's absolutely a core, a really important thing for us. We want people to be having fun with the recipes that we're making, and that absolutely started back then. I was employee number 8. Harry referenced this. I came in pretty early as well, and there was definitely a startup atmosphere, and definitely a drive to see those good numbers, and that led us to where we are today in lots of respects.
And what about your background then?
Yeah, so my route was slightly less conventional. I mean, this is not a conventional job by all intents and purposes. This job didn't really exist a few years ago. I'm very happy to say that I get to do that job, because it's the dream job for any cook, I think. But after university, I worked in a restaurant, a small place called Railroad in Hackney, since closed down. But they're writing a cookbook. Shout out.
Okay.
And I decided that I didn't really want to go down the traditional restaurant route. My brother was doing that. He was my canary down the mine. I decided that wasn't necessarily for me, but obviously I love cooking, and I always wanted to work in food, and I was always interested in food media, because of course I was an avid consumer, still am, as is Harry. So I was just amazed by how people could be making food videos and could be writing for food magazines, and I didn't really have any of the requisite skills that would get me any of these particular jobs, like food production or food writing necessarily. So I went to work for. I did a few things, but I worked for Abel & Cole for the lion's share of my period leading up to working here, which is of course a fruit and veg box delivery company. And there were flutters there of there were small things that Abel & Cole were doing that were of interest to me, such as food writing and starting to make food videos, etc. But I decided to move on from there, and I was looking for a new challenge, and I thought I'd
come across.
Yeah, I thought I found this job role that wasn't the job role I wanted, I applied for it in the vain hope that I might be able to contribute to some of the food videos that I'd seen Harry and the other colleague working on at the time, and had a couple of meetings with Jamie, and then it began.
Tom's first day was in my flat in Brixton. I had this tiny little flat. It was 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and I had 2 unemployed housemates at the time as well. And we had a living room kitchen that was probably about the size of this studio. Not that people listening can see that, but it's a recording studio, as you can imagine. And we had light boxes, and we were cooking 3 or 4 recipes a day. One corner of my room was just piled up dry goods. It was absolute mayhem. I think the first video we ever made, or the first video Tom ever witnessed, was pizza cones, which I think still scars him to this day.
I wasn't sure if it was necessarily the job for me on that first day. I'd knocked on this door, and I was just it was definitely a leap of faith for me. But
was there pineapple in these pizza cones, or
no pineapple? No, it was slightly more restrained. I think the cone was enough of a twist, if you like. We wanted it to be accessible, and it's a polarizing ingredient, especially on pizza. It was a crazy time. It was so exciting, though. It was really we were communicating with Jamie and the rest of the office via Slack or email, or one of the two. Was Slack around then?
Yeah, we send these videos across via, I think, WeTransfer, and we'd send them across, and they'd get them up, and they had a TV in their little office, because they were working in Shoreditch, we were in Brixton, and they'd watch them all. They'd all watch them and get like 3 a day, and it'd be like their highlight, and then they'd critique it, and we'd get feedback. But it was it was a very fun time, and it kind of all started from there. And then
and was there a lot of pushback on the quality of, like, do you have to shoot them again, or did they just accept most things, or
it improved as it went along? When we started, it was pretty basic, and we were doing it on a GoPro. We were very time constrained, and we were both kind of finding our feet and what worked. Obviously, there was an emphasis on quality as it got further along, but we kind of took ourselves there. Tom is brilliant at driving that kind of thing, and we've just kind of had our own internal want to improve it. So it was kind of as much from our end as it was from theirs, that we just want to get better and better quality. We saw some bigger publishers out there doing higher quality food content, and we kind of wanted to get there ourselves. So
I think it's a huge shout out for Jamie as well, to take a chance on people, taming wild horses rather than flogging dead ones is is such a skill. I'm thinking selfishly back to my own, when I was starting out in lastminute.com, when I was there, it was built on that. Brent and Martha just took a chance on all of us kids. We had no skills. Oh, would you like to go and buy flights? Would you like to go and buy restaurant, sort of seats? Would you like to go? Sure. Would you like to go and build websites? Would you like to go and run the email team? Okay. Have you done it before?
No.
Oh, will you learn and work really hard? Yeah. That was it, and that's how great things happen.
Yeah, I mean,
rather than getting someone that's, done it for 20 years, and actually, you get more like the worst people, they get apathetic, don't they? You get laziness, or they've got bad habits, or, you're fine. And also what you were saying, I think, so interesting is, for you to feel qualified to be a food writer or a food production, or how do I get a job at The Guardian, or how can I be the new, food writer at The Times, or, you need to have been, I don't know, maybe not now, but certainly then, Oxbridge, or
exactly,
the traditional routes to getting into food media were hard, pretty tricky.
And you need to come from certain stock, and you have to have done this, and
and lots of experience.
It's like lots of industries, and it's a very desirable thing to do, because of course there's so many people that are really passionate about it.
So I think it's lovely that you could kind of almost hack your way there
a little bit,
which is nice.
And we don't reflect on this too often, but
we should.
We should, yes.
Please promise me you will.
More pods.
Please promise me you will. It's a big deal.
But one of the reasons that we advanced so quickly, I think, was because Harry and I shared lots of opinions about food, and we had similar tastes. Of course, we had a similar sense of humour, which helped with work ethic. But I think we definitely struck a chord pretty early on in our interest in food, and that's definitely guided us a little bit too.
So first video was the pizza cones?
Well, my first video on my first day witnessing what we'd be doing for the next few years.
Twisted's first video was
I'm really worried to ask what that was now.
It was fajita cake.
Yeah, fajita cake. Yeah, still one of my favourites.
Iconic. I think that was in the some of the tabloids. I think fajita cake. I think it reached that kind of status.
Yeah, somewhere in Australia.
Yeah.
Well, are you listening?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Please don't. Apologies, food gods.
IP. Yeah.
You're going to hell.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. But full.
But that reached 14 million in a week or something. Something extraordinary.
And for our relative size, that was, of course, pretty monstrous. And I referenced earlier about that kind of that drive, and in the rest of the room to see this kind of engagement in these figures, and that was really exciting as well. And
it was amazing. Yeah.
Provided that it could look good and taste delicious, then after that it was all about getting those numbers.
Yeah.
And then what was the reaction then? So the engagement was people just sharing it, or they were commenting, or they were making it and sending you pictures back, like the Great British Bake Off Joe Brand extension, or what happened with the whole community then?
It's kind of a combination.
Yeah, a bit kind of everything, yeah. I mean, we had, lots of shares. That was the big metric that we followed initially. We were really keen on people sharing it and getting it out there.
People saying, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's definitely an element.
It's okay to shock people.
It's meant to thrill.
It's meant to be entertaining.
Yeah, it's entertainment as much as it's cooking. Obviously the cooking has to stand up, so it has to taste really good, which is something Tom always does. But it also, to compete in this sphere, it has to have that interest point. So we did want to be a bit tongue-in-cheek with it, want people to think about it and just have a bit of fun and not take it too seriously. But the reaction was good. We had lots of comments. We actually did have quite a few send-ins for the fajita cake.
They posted it to you.
I was glad they didn't. There were lots of digital posts. Digital posts. Digital mail.
That would have been an awful gift, wouldn't it?
That would have been horrific. It might have tasted all right.
Cold.
Yeah, a bit cold.
Please reheat.
It's good cold, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Next day.
If anyone listening wants to go and make that, it tastes good next day.
And what about the most popular so far?
Probably so far. We were talking about this the other day. It's quite a funny story, but it was the cinnamon swirl apple pie, which to date has about 108 million views, I think, and over 1 million shares.
Yes, 1.2,
which is And in the early days, we were looking for about 500 shares in say 15 minutes, and to have over 1 million of those is that was pretty great. Well, we put it on Christmas Day. And Christmas is an interesting time for content because I guess you assume it's going to be a difficult period for content, but in actual fact, when everyone's at home, they might be on their phones and disinterested with family conversations.
If you've met most people's families,
exactly. By about 3 o'clock, so we posted
3 o'clock.
At 3, maybe 1 o'clock.
Ironically, my mum bans it. She bans us from getting our phones out around Christmas time. Yeah.
How do you cope with that?
Get off your phone. I don't. I just leave the room.
Just go.
Exactly. Just addicted.
I need the toilet again.
For a walk.
So we liked this video, but we were setting a schedule for the Christmas period because of course a lot of us were going to be away for the lion's share of the break.
Yeah.
So we had scheduled this. I think it was just the one video for the day.
It was.
And we scheduled that one for 3 o'clock. And even on Christmas Day, we were occasionally checking our phones, and there was this flurry of texts around 4 o'clock saying like, "Have you seen this video? It's going viral." It just blew up, and it's been growing ever since. And that's the crazy thing about the viral videos.
They never stop, do they?
They don't stop, and they get to different corners of all the social media platforms that they're on, and people keep engaging with them, keep sharing them, and keep making them. And I think that's the one testament, especially for food video, as to the longevity of the videos, is whether people will actually make it. And if they do, it will be shared forever, and I guess that's a timeless recipe. Although there are derivations of almost everything that anyone makes at home all over the internet. So I wouldn't say we necessarily could, claim that as ours, but our version did well.
Exactly.
So,
from the sounds of that one, there's not much not to like.
Well, I mean, that's
one.
it.
That sounds.
No, very
delicious.
accessible flavours. That
Apple
people,
pie, something about apple pie. Everyone loves apple pie.
Yeah,
We
especially
found
our
that.
audience.
And you've got the US brothers and sisters going to be
Exactly.
loving that, right?
Absolutely.
Exactly, and Cinnabon and
Cinnabon,
Swirl.
Yeah.
So.
And what about, so maybe getting a bit geeky here, but what about content distribution then? Because obviously, it's not just Facebook, right? So you're taking that content then, and where are you spraying it these days? What's your...
So we work on mainly 3 platforms. Facebook's still our bread and butter. That's our biggest audience. But we've been really trying to build out our other platforms. Our Instagram has actually really taken off. We've got a lot of work there. We've got some great guys working on that. And we've seen some amazing traffic there recently. And likewise with our YouTube, it's something that we only started working on sort of 6 or 7 months ago. And I think we've just hit 300,000 followers, something along those lines.
Yeah, we have a plaque.
We have a plaque.
100K.
We've got the YouTube plaque.
That was the
first
first
plaque.
The Zoella plaque.
Well, not as big as Zoella, unfortunately. I think she's got a really big plaque.
She has got a big plaque.
Massive plaques.
But we've got a plaque nonetheless. So, so we're trying to build out, those are our main 3. They're the 3 we really operate on. I know we're doing a few bits and bobs on Pinterest as well, but those are the 3 we're trying to really focus on.
Yeah. And then in terms of so I guess everyone would be given right, left limbs for this stuff, in terms of this audience and attention and then what? To what end?
Sure.
What's the grand master plan with the villainous laugh?
So that's not something that we were thinking about, or I was thinking about on my first day, and we were just trying to.
Well, you were writing your resignation letter, weren't you?
Yeah, pretty much.
In margarita sauce.
Yeah,
Just go,
that's right.
I'm out of here.
Pizza cones.
Pizza cones.
But of course, as we've grown, it's something we've thought a lot about, and relatively early on, and I'm sure we'll touch more on this over the next 40 minutes or so. But
if you're lucky, I might keep longer.
Exactly.
Okay, cool. We thought pretty early on, how awesome it would be for these people that were engaging with all of the videos and making them and sending pictures in, if they could actually physically interact with this brand that they see online, and obviously these videos are very much about entertainment, but there is also a serious nature to what we do, and that's getting people really pumped about cooking and eating food, and there's no reason why, if you love what we do online, that you might love what we do offline. So so there have been some really exciting developments over the past year or so, that has obviously we've got a bigger team now, so we have some help with the online stuff that Harry and I started back on day one.
How
big's the team now? You told me something scary.
So the Jungle Creations team is 100 plus. Twisted there's 10 of us directly that work for Twisted and Twisted Bar. But then there's a wider team that help and support that, from account management to creative to sales. So there's editorial. So there's a much wider team that work kind of alongside us with Jungle, who really help bring in the business and help with our social targets and stuff. So.
Blimey.
Yeah.
But 10 full-fledged, full-blooded Twisted members.
You're like proper bosses now.
Kind of. Yeah.
Sure.
Co-heads.
Niche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. So you're kind of going the other way from the virtual world to try and bring it into real.
Yes.
Kind of like eBay going from that to a car boot sale.
Well, it's.
Idea.
I guess it's both. The any move offline doesn't subjugate the online stuff.
No.
That stuff is, of course, incredibly important, and one of the reasons we think that's so important is because of our idea to move offline, if you like. But yes, we have done. We had an opportunity to do this relatively early on in the tenure with Twisted, actually, which was about 3 months in. We were approached by a small publisher to write a little cookbook, which we did very quickly. And it was an incredible experience, and it sold really well. And it made us start to think about
the wider brand.
The wider brand opportunities there, and the future as we've mentioned. So that was before we started working with any commercial partners also. So if you fast forward a few more months, we had our first commercial deal with Oreo and Yo Sushi, Doritos, amongst others.
What did you do with Yo? Because that's very dear to my heart.
Yo, we did
Okonomiyaki,
wasn't it?
Okonomiyaki.
Yeah, we did an okonomiyaki from their new menu. We actually had their head development chef at the time.
What were you,
global
Mike?
exec
Yeah.
development
Mike?
chef? Yeah. Yes,
Mike. It was Mike. Yeah, it was
Mike's
Mike.
great,
Yeah,
came into
really
our-
nice guy.
What was
Mike's
then a very humble kitchen,
Yeah.
and we were making some pancakes. It was really fun.
Yeah.
What were you over in Clerkenwell?
No, he
this-
came to us.
Yeah,
actually,
he came to us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Mike will have worked in very small kitchens all over
Well,
the
this
world.
was a
Yeah,
particularly small kitchen, but he was great. He was really good about the whole thing, and it was a really amazing experience for us to have worked with.
Yeah, it was a bit of a
sushi,
pinch
we-
yourself moment there.
He's very knowledgeable. Yeah,
Yeah, I think we were kind of 6 months in by this stage, so it was very surreal, amazing.
Yeah. Oh, good. No, nice one.
Yeah,
Yeah, really
Excellent.
cool.
And I think the really nice thing about the brand you've set up as well, like, it's got so much space to move.
Yeah, well, we definitely think so. I mean, food is such an expansive thing now, isn't it? It's such globalized. So I think we can do kind of anything with it. That's the joy of it. Obviously, as Tom said, the online will be hugely important for us going forward, and we want to start making like a whole range of different content styles, deliver on all these different platforms that favour slightly different things. We want to get to the kind of level where we're making TV and all the rest. Big production, everything.
Definitely.
But we don't want to lose the authenticity of what we've been doing. So the short recipe videos, that is our bread and butter, and that's what we can easily distribute as well. That's the joy of this product, that it is really easy to distribute it around the world.
But you could see people wearing your sneaker brand. You could see people wearing your T-shirts. You could see people
apparel,
watching the stuff. Like the Action Bronson, Fuck That's Delicious show. And oh man, I'm so excited for you guys. Like you've left such an open. It has got a kink in the name that it's just got a little bit of punk in it. That it's always going to. It's just got an edge to it.
It feels just like the start.
Really
always,
exciting.
Yeah,
it could be beer. We could do beer. We could do
anything. I mean,
festivals.
Food touches.
We've spoken about Twisted World, which is kind of our image for bringing the brand to life in multifaceted ways, and loads of different areas of lifestyle. We kind of, we don't want to, who knows where the brand will go, but I think lifestyle is something we really want to play on. I think that's kind of right at the core of what Twisted is. It is a food brand, but it's more what it stands for. And I think what it stands for is it's got to be fun and approachable and engaging. And I think that can apply to lots of different things, not just online food media. So,
food now touches so many different industries, and it's so accessible because it's something that we do every day, right?
Yeah, and a real challenger to the status quo.
Absolutely,
basically, I think
it's a different way of doing things, isn't it? We built a big audience and then we took it offline. Usually you have a product that's generally physical in the food space, and then you build an audience around it and try and distribute. We created essentially a distribution network, and now we can sort of bring products to market that way. So it's really exciting. And I think we've only just scratched the surface of what Twisted can become and what it can do.
I think we're really conscious of, we don't want this to be, if we were to do anything offline, we would hate for it to be gimmicky in any way.
Yeah, or throwaway.
It's really important to us that anything that we do offline in the future stands up on its own as a great product, irrespective of the fact that we have this distribution network and audience, on these social media platforms. And I think, I can't think of any specific examples, and I wouldn't like to name any necessarily, but perhaps in the past, you might find brands guilty of just creating a product in order to make a bit of money, and we don't want to do that.
No, we don't.
8% of the time.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, taking advantage maybe of an interest that the audience has in the product. We don't want to do too much too soon, and we've definitely got to this point on a shoestring budget almost, and we haven't expanded too quickly, I don't think, and as a result, I think that's kind of like honed where we want to go in the future. I mean, we want to do things in a very considered way.
Well, it's because you're doing it with authenticity and integrity, and as you say, you're not doing it for a quick win.
Yeah, and we'd love like these offline projects, whatever they may be, to stand up, as Tom said, as their own product or their own thing. And then if people associated with us, oh, that's the same Twisted, that's the kind of level we want. We want to have these separate, amazing products that all stand up completely irrelevant to our social media. And then they can discover that it's all one sort of cumulative thing, but that it's a product that doesn't sell on the gimmick of being part of an ex-media brand, that it sells on its own quality or its own.
Definitely. You know, it's like, I don't know, an example would be a couple of years ago or a year ago, like, I don't know, like I'm going to pronounce it wrong, but the Higgy, or it was Huga, I think you're meant to pronounce it, but Higgy, whatever, thing came up. Every chain brand like jumped on it. It was
Hygge.
Hygge.
Right, yes.
What is the correct?
I think it's Hygge.
There you go. Okay.
I remember Mads Mikkelsen, the actor. He's in is it a Danish actor?
They're going to know. They're going to know.
And it's all about Hygge.
Yes, that's one of the adverts, isn't it?
Yeah. So there you go. But everyone, chain brands, beer, so that's the thing to avoid, right? Just run into it, or let's have an avocado festival, or it's just like, just stay. You could do something just genuine, and I think that's
a little bit considered.
Yeah. I mean, we're not really thinking about legacy just yet, but I mean, I think if we look back, we would hate for that to be the case. So
we got a bunch of blankets together.
Yeah, exactly. Although
some hot chocolate, come on.
Yeah. So I guess that leads us neatly onto our opportunity to open a restaurant, which was November of last year, and we had the opportunity to start a delivery only restaurant in a dark kitchen.
Man, everyone was talking about this, by the way. Like the whole industry was just like in shock. God, you want to see what these guys have done on everyone.
Yeah, it was I think it was the first time that a digital first food brand had done this. There weren't many people that we could go to for advice. Yeah. And I think that was good, because they probably would have said, that's quite risky. Have you done this before? Don't do that. Yeah, or I'm stealing that idea. We may well see that to be still be the case. I don't know. But yeah, that was an incredible experience, and that's been a really good opportunity for us to see how we can use this audience in the same way that we were alerted to when we first wrote the cookbook. How we could potentially use our social media audiences and the brand online to help the offline endeavour.
Yeah.
There's a 2 mile radius around our restaurant, so of course we're still yet to see what the effect might be if we did some sort of event in the middle of London and we said, hey guys, we're putting something on, come down. But nevertheless, it's been an awesome success so far, and we're really excited about the future of that side of the business too.
And it's still trading.
Still trading. I think we're looking to expand as well.
And people can find it by.
It's Deliveroo, Uber Eats.
Predominantly at the moment.
Yeah.
So can they
But you've got to be within a 2 mile radius of...
right.
Get down to Whitechapel.
Of Whitechapel, yeah. So get yourself down there, sit in a park while it's sunny, see if they'll deliver to there.
Yeah.
Cold, yeah.
The food will be hot. So.
Yes, exactly.
Are you going to do Higgy blankets?
Exactly.
If they get down to Whitechapel, I'll personally deliver.
I'll personally
a
fashion crochet a blanket for them.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's cool. And then, so in terms of the ideas for the content, if we go back to that area of things, what's happening? Are you guys getting some booze in from Bargain Booze? Are you trolling the internet? Where's this inspiration? And also, to make it, because there's so much stuff that you see all the time, I've seen that before, because the early adopters are like, yeah, I've seen it before.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Have you seen our page make it? And I think that's
exactly, yeah. So how are you keeping ahead then with these ideas?
Yeah, I mean, we spend an unhealthy amount of time scrolling through the dark pages of food internet to try and find something unusual.
Which URL is this?
I can't share our secret network.
Yeah.
But yeah, we spend a lot of time online. Also, I think weirdly the best ideas come just out of nowhere, out of one of our heads or one of our team's heads. We've kind of got an idea of what works for our audience now. So I'd say we're limited in some ways, but we also really understand them. So we kind of know where to start. It's got to be really approachable. It's got to be really fun. We work to such a global audience that if you want something to go viral in today's sense, you've got to appreciate that you might be appealing to people from 10 different countries, right? So how many accessible ingredients are there that spread those? There's a few. You might be chicken, there might be tortilla wraps. If you think about what you could buy in a general supermarket around Europe, for instance, or America. So we try and work on really approachable ingredients. Yeah. And that's kind of where we've had our most success. Play on big dishes that we know people like. For instance, we've already spoken about pizza, but cheesesteak, we spoke about apple pie slightly earlier. These are kind of very homely, well-known food groups.
Yeah. And that transcend different food cultures.
Yeah. And then we put our own twist on it. We want to come up with something fun, so we'll sit down and we'll think, what have we not done with cheesesteak? What have people not done with cheesesteak? Yeah. Could you make it into...
Let's do something fun with it.
A kebab tower, which we did at one point.
And it's there is an irreverence to the style of recipes that we do. These are meant to be a little bit challenging and super fun, and they're intended to make you smile and entertain you. And I think we've never lost sight of that, and that's why we're all still so excited to come to work every day. Is because we're, especially all the cooks, this is really fun, and it's really hard to communicate that behind the camera you're having a great time. Like you see these videos and they're relatively polished and they look really professional. But it's really hard to communicate that behind the scenes.
Do you ever do behind the scenes, or do you not want to show?
No, we absolutely
would love to.
And I think it's just about having time and the capacity to do it properly. Because we would. You hate to give someone a disingenuous image of what's actually going on behind the scenes, and as I said, we're a small team, we're still growing, and I think we want to do that as soon as possible.
In the near future,
just as well as possible as well.
And then everyone's creating the recipes.
Yeah, so we have an ideas meeting every week. Everyone's tasked with kind of coming up with stuff throughout the week, and then you'll bring, say, your 5 best ideas together. So that's kind of 50 ideas we might get, from our 10 people, including ourselves, at the end of the week. And then we'll talk them out as a group, and then we'll sift off the top 14, say, that we really like. The chefs will then obviously go into more depth about how these might actually come to life in terms of ingredients. And then we put them into the days, pair up the videographers with the chefs, and the dishes get made. Yeah.
And are there any cultural sensitivities or stuff that's happening in the world you need to be aware of before you put something out, or stuff? Is there anything like that ever really affects you, or because you're going for stuff that is so accessible it doesn't matter so much?
I think again, we believe that there's that sense of fun is definitely conveyed in the videos, and I think that provided people understand that, and they're not taking it too seriously. We're not trying to, obviously, we're not trying to offend anyone.
No, of course.
But I could, it's it's a valid point. I'd probably argue no, because this is entertainment, and we have really healthy debate and really healthy engagement from all of the consumers of our content on the page. They're having those debates for us, and that's a big part of what we do. I think we don't take ourselves too seriously. We do take risks with the content that we make, and it's so cool to see people saying, that's not lasagna. My grandma would turn in her grave.
The happy side of controversy, not
the
civil war side of controversy.
But turning it on.
But that's what content's all about. We're not looking to please everybody. And ultimately we're looking to please ourselves. We really enjoy making that kind of content, and hopefully that comes across.
But I think I think you, as a team, being who you are, and a brand as who you are, I think you can get away with that, with a slight tongue-in-cheek spring in your step, whereas some other ones will get slammed. I mean, I saw a very large Italian brand the other day, putting up a social media post about, one of their Far East branches, and you're like, do you not know there's a typhoon going on out there? You know, you're just like, come on, guys.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
just
yeah.
like a little bit of awareness would be quite a good
Sure.
idea, you know, when you're thinking about the world, you know. So it's always, you know, it's just always tricky. And we had a big social media conference on Thursday there, and it was just stuff we were trying to teach we're trying to say,
Yeah.
just, I know you need to tick off that box that you've done your
But be aware.
crossing yourself 3 posts a day, you know, religiously. But, you know, it's just like, you know, and you don't have to do 3 posts. It doesn't work like that. But, you know, it's just, you know, just be a bit mindful about what you're putting out there and when and to who and, you know, all that.
You forget quite how many people
see your stuff.
see the stuff.
Yeah,
and I think you can, you know, it's important to kind of not remember that sometimes, and just to focus on the content that you're making, and yeah, just be aware. But I think you can get a little bit too bogged down in that, and you know, we're living in a hugely globalized world, and we think the food that we put out on the page is a celebration of the globalization of food. And I'm sure people might interpret it in a different way and say that, you know, we're losing sight of the tradition,
the authenticity.
You know, it's a hot topic, and it's something that David Chang touched on really well in Ugly Delicious, for example.
Amazing.
So good.
Yeah, it's
So
awesome.
good.
And
Netflix keeps trolling me though, right? Because it keeps coming up going, watch it, and I'm thinking new episodes, and
Yeah,
it's like
new
it's
series,
the same
one,
episodes.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
The
the
watch
same.
again tab
Just
just
like,
gets me. Yeah.
he's still watching this.
New Chef's Table though, which also.
I thought
Chef's
Chef's
Table on the
Table
way.
was so far up its own arse.
Yeah, a little bit.
Agree, but
I mean, if you love food and cooking, then it's still a great show.
Well, there was about 4 or 5 I adored, and sort of the rest I could take or leave.
Which did you like?
Which did you like?
So I loved Nancy Silverton's.
I've watched that several times.
Yeah, she's great, isn't she?
It's amazing.
I loved Dan.
Dan Barber.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a polarizing character. I think some people aren't sure about him. But obviously a very driven guy, and he's done some cool stuff.
Yeah.
That Wasted pop-up in Selfridges, and you know, he's on Massimo's level in terms of what he's doing for food culture, and the struggles with food around the world. So
I thought that was good. Ivan
Ivan Ramen.
Ivan
yeah,
Noodleman.
Ivan Ramen's
Wicked,
great.
yeah.
How
That was
cool
the
is
best one by
That's
my
so
opinion.
cool, right?
Just him, humble
Jewish guy
and
from
lovely, and
Brooklyn moves out
Yeah.
to Japan and wins ramen awards. I mean,
Incredible
that's-
story.
and
He wins that award for sure.
crying, like you mean my wife just crying
Yeah,
watching
yeah.
it, like
Yeah.
just
But you know, it's kind of like, you know,
and then happy again,
Yeah.
and it was all up and down, and just me and my Yodis have got a little tiny little link to, you know, Japan and stuff. So I've just, you know,
Really hit the spot.
Yeah, I was just like, come on. So that was sort of the 3 for me. Massimo, fine. I just
Yeah. What about Francis Malman?
fast cars.
yeah.
I don't know if I saw that. What was the
He
phrase?
lives on this
you love
tiny. He
Francis
lives on this
Malman.
tiny island in Argentina.
Okay, I'll check that one out.
He cooks only with fire.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the first time I'd ever heard of this guy, and I was just like,
Okay.
this is ridiculous.
Okay.
He's like my new favourite guy.
He's cooking in London.
His
actually.
Instagram is incredible as
Okay.
well, so do check that out, please.
Check. Well, I sort of gave most of them about 10-15 minutes, and then I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
But what I learned was, it was just quite interesting. I was really into the people that didn't want big global companies, and I liked the ones that just ran their kitchen.
Yeah.
And it was a lot like me with our agency, you know. I don't think I want the big company with that I'm far removed from the, you know,
The sauce, yeah.
Yeah,
indeed.
I think it can only, and I was so impressed with Nancy, just like
Still in there cooking.
Well, there was
cooking
that
away,
shot of her having the bread company, right? And then, what was it called? What's her bread company, her bakery called? Her bakery was called something. All handmade, queued round the block, this, that. And then it switched to these big machines. It was almost like this kind of like
In the Nancy
Orwellian.
episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Brea Bakery. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And it just moved to this like,
Sure.
and I felt sick. I physically felt sick. Watch, I was like, oh my god, that's not what she did. And then she's just like, yeah, I basically sold it like the next. I mean, it wasn't quite the next day, but and I thought, good on you.
Yeah.
you know. And I'm sure it was exactly near enough tasted the same and scientifically, but you know.
It loses a bit of its soul, doesn't it, I think.
But I'll tell you the other one that I really enjoyed, and it split people. I really like Somebody Feed Phil.
I watched
that
half an episode.
Really good.
I didn't know what was going on.
Well, so basically, and I mean, this is a complete aside here stuff. We will get back to your stuff, but just very much
deep into food TV as well.
But basically, it's the guy that wrote Everyone Loves Raymond. Yeah. And so it's almost like Curb Your Enthusiasm playing out in real life.
Right, okay.
And that,
I do like Curb Your
yeah.
Enthusiasm.
So, you know, Larry David, obviously, you know. So
Hilarious.
he wrote Everybody Loves Raymond, and it's his show after he's made all his money, then just going around the best restaurants in the world.
That's a great job.
Now he
Right,
he just knows loads of famous people, basically.
Right, there you go.
And that's what he does. And he's at Dan Barber's at one of them, and actually it's got this weird meta thing that it links to one of the Chef's Table episodes.
Right.
So there's this tiny little
Netflix slipped that in there.
it's a weird. So there's this tiny squash in one of the in that Chef's Table episode with Dan Barber, and he actually is one of the first people to taste the squash.
Right.
And so it's like such a concentrated squash that the flavour's so amazing.
Yeah.
But he makes really stupid faces. It is quite American, really. But the Lisbon episode is absolutely phenomenal.
Is it?
He goes around the Time Out Market.
Yeah, I had some friends who went there. Actually, my sister went there.
I went a couple of years ago.
Yeah, my sister went a few weeks ago to the Time Out Market in Lisbon and said it was incredible.
Yeah,
it's great.
Said it was incredible.
Loads of really good restaurants in Lisbon having little stalls.
That's all he does. So it's nothing. So see if you almost just want to switch your brain off. It's like watching Friends or something. Just stick it on. You don't have to worry about
calm,
anything.
it's mindless
You don't.
in a nice way,
just mental chewing gum. Just stick it on. Have a glass of wine or beer or something.
I will check that out.
You know, it's really good. But anyway, that was a short ad break for Netflix.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sponsored by
Hashtag
Netflix.
ad. Paid partnership with Netflix. Anyway, right, so back to Twisted. So that's all we'll get time for. So anyway, so in terms of then the things going viral, right? So we get like asked all the time, right? And it's almost like a douche move at high school or something, right? Which is the client coming in with a brief. I'd like something to go viral, and it's like, you've got no chance asking that question. Mm-hmm. So, you know, your things actually do, which is like, I'm feeling like I'm meeting two unicorns, right? Because I don't really know that many people that
unicorns were going viral for a while.
Well, they were.
Unicorn toast and hot chocolate.
I've got a fact for you. Do you know which country that the unicorn is its national animal?
National animal?
Oh, that's a tricky one.
It's not that tricky.
Is it not?
Are there any flags of the world that are rainbow or unicorn colours?
Not that I'm aware of.
Scotland.
No.
It can't be.
It's on the front of the British passport. A unicorn's on the front of the British passport.
What? This could be a joke.
For realsies.
Back to Netflix.
Is
it really?
Yeah. Anyway, right.
Okay.
There you go.
So I'll go on holiday.
We might need a fact check. Well, I'm sure that's true. I've told my daughter that anyway. No, that's just true. Anyway, so yeah.
So it's fact.
Yeah. So Tooth Fairy Santa.
It's fact.
So So in terms of, is there any advice or is there any vapor, juice, thoughts? What helps?
There's no formula. I mean, we had to like from day one. We've been really, really careful to watch what our audience are doing and saying and engaging with, and that's been our biggest metric that we've been following. So in that sense, you can only go viral with your audience, and therefore there is no formula that applies. There are lots of things you have to take into consideration. But ultimately, they're the people to watch if you want something to go viral. Yeah,
it's completely true. I think what we do really well is that we've got a really good understanding of our audience and we really listen to them. We're not arrogant in what we put out, not the content that we want to see. It's the content that we've learned they want to see. And I think if you really want to build a good key audience, you've got to find out quite early who they are and just embrace them.
Yeah.
Because we did that with ours. We tried a lot of different stuff at the beginning, a lot of different recipes and lots of different cuisines, and we tried some complicated stuff, and they didn't go for quite a lot of it. And that's great, and that's what we wanted to see on the page, but we weren't trying to build an audience for ourselves, if that makes sense.
Sure.
We wanted to just build a community of like-minded people who like the same thing. And I think, the best piece of advice we can give is just to listen to your audience and really pay attention to what they seem to like, and then break down those factors and try and figure out exactly what it is. We think it's just fun, creative stuff that's pretty approachable. That's our success to virality. Yeah. But if you're a car brand and you're making content, it might be something completely different. Yeah. So I think it's just being very aware of your audience, and just listening to them and taking that on board.
And most likely something more lateral than literal, right?
Yeah.
Almost a happy accident, something. Because there's one that's going around Twitter right now, and I've not even bothered to watch the whole thing yet. It's something about making sausages out of 2 plastic bottles, or there's something kind of going around at the moment. I need to dig it out.
Yeah.
Everyone's sort of sharing it at the moment.
That'll be our next vid.
Yeah. And it's like
Bottle
this amazing
sausages.
life hack. And you get a bit of pipe, and then there's a blowtorch, and it's like, I'll just go and get my bit of pipe and blowtorch that I've got in the house. You'd have to go to home base and do it. It's hardly a hack if you don't have it.
Do you still need the protein casings that go on with it?
Yeah, you need all that.
Oh, you need that?
You
Right,
need all
fine,
that.
okay.
Is it sort of a DIY sausage machine?
Yeah,
Niche.
I need to check on that one. But no, I thought it was something like that, and I was a bit like, I think it started out it was like a dog hack.
Right.
Like, so you just chuck mince in a... So it was to save you having a sausage maker, but it's pretty much as much effort. You may as well just buy a sausage maker. Anyway, I don't know. So it was weird. So I mean,
there's certainly some videos outside of necessarily the food sphere where it can just be, not quite sure. Someone will pick up on a very niche, weird thing, and it will just go mad
and go nuts.
It's important to make the distinction between food and the rest of the other content. Because often you might find it's something that is just so out there and so inconceivably odd that it will
you could never predict.
It will go viral for that reason.
Yeah,
but there's lots of stuff you can do, I think, to make daily kind of more viral content as well.
Yeah,
cool. So brand collaborations and all the rest of it. So you mentioned a couple of brands that you worked with. Anything the most fun? Anything that I know you. It's like having kids, you always have a favourite one.
Yeah, exactly. I could ask us to pick.
Yeah, but anything that you just thought, that was really out there, or...
I mean, we've had some great ones.
Perhaps not
exciting.
Exciting, yeah. Well, the longest partnership we've had has been with Bailey's, which has been awesome, and we're hopefully embarking on another long partnership with them.
I like them.
Yeah, we did almost a year.
Like a wee Bailey's.
Yeah, we did 25 videos with them actually. And it was, an enormous success. We'd never used Bailey's on the page. We knew people would like it, but we didn't know to what extent. And we started making content, and they all soared. They love Bailey's.
I've just bought the strawberries and cream.
I think we actually did the first kind of announcement for that, or we got it very early doors. We had a sort of secret clandestine bottle smuggling situation where we were given no Instagram allowed strawberries and cream bottle that we then used in our video.
They've been great. Scottish. I've never felt more Scottish because I was in a supermarket about 9 a.m. on like a Monday morning or so, and I saw it.
Were you drawn to the Bailey?
Well, I was buying it for my wife, so I said to the lady at the supermarket, I said, what time can you buy alcohol? Because in Scotland, I don't know if it's still the case, but it used to be when I lived there was a time limit.
Yeah,
or
10 or 11
something like that.
Time limit, you got 5 minutes. Get as much as you can.
There was like a
supermarket.
You're not allowed.
Supermarket suite,
You're not allowed.
Dale.
It's like, you weren't allowed, not anymore, but you weren't allowed, it's R.I.P. Dale. So, but there was a, God bless and all that, but you weren't allowed. Yeah, there was certain...
Yeah, time. You weren't allowed to buy booze before.
First orders, last orders kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I said, I just felt so Scot. And then I thought if I was going to get hammered, I'm not sure I'd go for a creamy drink, and as much as I love Bailey. So, but no, I went for that. But it was tasty. It was all right.
Yeah, it's delicious.
My wife was,
Bailey's is absolutely delicious.
I mean, it's really versatile.
Which is great. You're
overselling it now.
Yeah.
A part of the brief.
Hashtag ads.
Hashtag ads.
Spawn.
A part of the brief was that they wanted Baileys to be used, around the year, and that was a really exciting prospect for us because, of course, we do food mostly, and so we thought it'd be a really great way to get people buying Baileys and using Baileys in ways that they hadn't necessarily considered before, and that was to put them in desserts, and actually it lends itself incredibly well to baking and sweet things. So. I think so. We saw some incredible numbers, and it was that was such a win-win partnership for us, and I think that's why we enjoyed it so much.
Do you know as well? We had a meeting with someone who will remain nameless, and her father's friend was one of the researchers and or he might even have invented it in some way.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's a great.
And
legacy,
her father, I think, invented Malibu.
Post-its.
Wow, cool. There's two fun guys.
Half invented Malibu.
It was like something,
something mad like that.
Yeah, and so we were just like completely blown away going, because you just feel like Baileys has been around for, like, it's just been a thing since 1800. You know what I mean? It's recent. Yeah, it was like maybe Seagram, and there was an Irish part of it. But anyway, this is what she was telling. Yeah, and it was, I was just anyway, I'll tell you the story offline. But I was just like, oh my, like we were just the whole meeting just got blown when she told us that. I was just like, oh my God, I want to know more about this.
I think it's just been really fun for us to work with like brands that we've grown up with, like household names. From where we started, it's quite amazing. We've done some stuff with Heinz recently, and just working with anyone in that sphere is just an amazing thing. These amazing, big, iconic brands that Tom and I grew up eating / drinking. Yeah. And being able to do stuff with their product is, pretty amazing.
Superb. Nice. So, in terms of the cookbook stuff, more cookbooks on the horizon?
Yes, we should mention that.
Yes.
We are currently working on cookbook number 2, or as we like to think of it, cookbook number 1 in lots of respects, because this is going to be a much bigger book. We're looking at absolutely over 100 recipes, but we haven't finalised a full figure yet. And there's going to be some drinks in there as well. Yep. And that's, we're due to release that next spring. And that is, we've talked a lot about the offline endeavours and our interest in making all of those, as awesome as they can be, regardless of the success of the online brand. Although that may prove very, very fruitful in distributing the book, because we're self-publishing this one. Mm-hmm. We're working really hard to make sure it feels a little bit different as well. Again, making that distinction between, entertainment videos and cookbook recipes and writing. They're two different things, I think. So it's a really exciting thing. It's Harry and I are really, really excited about it. And,
it's going to be
definitely.
It's going to be delicious. It's going to be really, really good.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We've been doing lots of testing recently for that, and it's tasting good. So,
well, I think the big thing is like this whole new brave digital world and all that. You can't beat something printed in some way, or
it's just the longevity of it, isn't it? And cookbooks stay around on your shelves forever, and it's an amazing way to be able to be involved in like the future of cooking, isn't it? Or in some physical manner. I think we're not aiming to replace cookbooks. I just don't think you can. I think they're just such a quintessential part of. They're kind of also kind of like they're kind of time placements and style icons. Cookbooks kind of show you food photography as much as they show you recipes. Like, a 30-year-old cookbook is much about having the photography and the stylistic and showing like the journey of how food's developed and how the visuals of food have developed. Yeah. So they're as much a placeholder for what food looked like and style looked like in 2018 as it is about the recipe side of things. That's why I think that you can't really replace them in that sense. Yeah. But there's loads of stuff we do on the page that we want to cook that has kind of a small twist, right? We do try and play on the twist side of thing. And they might be really delicious, but they might not work on social. And we just know that. So this book is kind of a collection of like new recipes that Tom and his team have developed. And also some of the stuff that we know would be amazing, but perhaps wouldn't tick all the viral boxes. But in terms of when you came to eat it, you'd be like, wow, that's really clever.
Yeah. Exciting. I think it's just seeing your name in print.
Yeah, I mean,
on the
top
spine of a
twisted.
book, or
Yeah, sure.
and your names too.
Yes,
somewhere,
yeah, potentially. We're undecided about.
Or even just
when
in
those
the
work, yeah.
thank
Even in
yous
the-
or something.
yeah.
you know?
Yeah,
We'll have a picture of the team in there somewhere for
kinda
sure.
nice.
100%. Yeah, no, it's again very surreal.
It's lovely.
But
Yeah.
and we had that a little bit with the first book, which I mentioned sold really well, and we saw that in bookshops around the country, and we'd get
Selfies.
a couple of selfies, maybe with my mum.
Exactly.
But other than that,
Get
not
off your
so
phone.
much. Yeah. But yeah, that was an incredibly exciting thing. But we have a bigger, wider team now. The Jungle, as Harry mentions, over 100 staff now. So we're in a much better position to sell the book once it's written.
Yeah.
Much bigger audience as well. I think.
Much bigger audience as well. I think we had 3 million followers at the time of releasing the first book. We now have 15 across different our different platforms. So yes, you'd hope that we could reach a few more people, and you'd hope that there'd be lots more people, relatively speaking, that
Pound
would
a
like
book.
to buy it. A pound a book.
There you go. Get retiring.
Yeah, slightly more if you're self-publishing, but yeah, not going in our pockets.
well,
No, it's not. You're not lining our pockets. Don't worry.
I was hopeful rather than worried, but
Yeah.
see if you'll still remember me. Well, last couple of things then, because I'm just conscious of your time as well. So, being the first Facebook page as well, open the restaurant, any learnings?
Any learnings? I mean, of course, there are learning curves with starting new projects, offline or online, and yeah, that was no different. I mean, I've worked in restaurants, and my brother runs one. He owns one. So,
Do you want to shout that out?
Sardine, Old Street, Alex
okay.
Jackson. Please go check it out. Yeah,
Good.
Shout out, hi Alex.
Hello, Alex.
He won't be
nice.
listening. Maybe I'll tell him.
Maybe force him.
Yeah.
You're mentioned near the end, Alex.
Yeah.
Listen all the way through.
Yeah.
So I lost my train of thought there on that.
So,
shout.
Learning curves.
Yes, learning curves. Yeah, of
learning
course.
curves.
And so I'd worked in restaurants a little bit, and I from my brief experience doing that while I was at university and just afterwards as well, you get to learn nuances and ultimately how difficult it is to run restaurants. Of course, this is slightly different because this is delivery only, so there's no front of house. Which changes the game a bit. That's it's essentially just like it's a different business altogether. Operations is much more important there and things like that. So, we talked briefly about how it was received in the industry, and you mentioned that lots of people were impressed by the fact that had happened, and that hasn't stopped, and I think we're looking at new sites at the moment, and sales are good, and the food is great, so really excited to see where how far that can go in and around London, if not the UK and the world. I mean, it sounds ambitious, but we know that we have a certain amount of followers in
New York,
Cairo, Paris,
LA, Paris,
and there's no reason why the same. It couldn't work there also. It's super exciting.
Nice. Well, any final words of wisdom for the listeners?
Just about life in generally, or so we another offline endeavour, which is happening very soon, actually. We should have mentioned this a lot sooner, perhaps. But hopefully everyone listened right to the end for the most important part. We have a subsidiary brand called Twisted Bar, which also has a social media following across all the different platforms, and we're running a pop-up bar from the 4th of October for 4 weeks. That's going to be on Commercial Street in Shoreditch, and again, it's an opportunity to invite people down to try some of the drinks that they've been interacting with.
Where exactly is it on Commercial Street?
I forget the number, but there is going to be an Instagram page.
It's a great area.
An Instagram page called Twisted Bar Pop-Up. It's right opposite Somsar.
It's near Somsar.
I know.
Not far from Spitalfields.
Really close to Spitalfields, and we're going to be setting up. There's going to be a specific Instagram page for that called Twisted Bar Pop-Up.
We'll put it all in the notes for you and
Absolutely,
finish it out
Yeah.
and stuff.
And we're going to, do some of the big cocktails that did really well online, so people can come and physically try them. We've spoken about taking the brand offline and making it a real thing, and allowing our audience to interact with it in a more physical way. And this is just a super exciting opportunity for us. We've got 4 weeks to just let people come down and actually drink some cocktails. We'll be doing a few bits of food as well, a few things off the Twisted London menu. So it'd be really cool. There'll be music, and it should be really fun, and just an amazing way to actually reach out to our London audience. We know that we have, well, from what social media tells us, we have a few 100,000 based here, and we've never been able to hold a physical event anywhere. We've had Twisted London, which has been amazing.
There's that radius,
but you've got that radius restraint, and as it's not a restaurant with a front of house, you can't physically go there and eat.
Yeah.
So this will be the first time that we do a truly physical, engageable pop-up, so
that anyone around the world could attend. And
I think the trade just
your
want to
flights
check
now.
you guys out alone will make it busy.
yeah.
Hope so.
Hope so.
Honestly, they will.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah.
We're super excited by it. There's two amazing guys who work on that page who have been making, Alex and Marcus, who have been making amazing cocktails for the last couple of weeks, trying to get everything all prim and proper. So it is.
I've got to get down to that then.
Yeah. You're very invited.
No, absolutely. Come down.
Amazing.
That is a no-brainer. So that's kind of our next, along with the cookbook. Those are our next two big ventures. But there's always stuff going on.
I wish you will with that then.
Yeah. It's
Really
really exciting.
Really
exciting.
excited. And then just any tips for anyone about just getting into business. Yeah, just getting out and doing it.
Our route is not conventional, so
I think it's a good thing, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, there are no rules.
Agreed.
Just email whoever you can if you're interested in working in food media. I got lucky, but that's not to say that that you couldn't also. Other than that, keep your head down, concentrate on the content, listen to your audience.
Yeah, be really passionate.
And
really
don't worry
listen to
too much about what other people are doing. It's like going on Instagram too often,
your
you can
life
get a
looks
bit jaded.
terrible.
Yeah, exactly. Just concentrate on what you're doing and have belief every step of the way.
And it's good to have it's okay to have a niche. You don't have to be the biggest at what you do either. You just do something really well, as long as it's what you want to be doing. And that's kind of, I think we've got to where we've got to. And there are lots of other people around the food and drink space who are doing that, not necessarily the biggest brands out there, but doing amazing things with small brands. So I think, listen to your audience and, go for it.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yes, that's
definitely.
It's my alma mater.
That is,
just have some fun, my goodness. There are too many people out there that are taking things far too seriously, and it's just no fun.
Going grey far too early.
Well,
Yes, I am.
well, Harry's getting there.
Oh, is
Actually,
he?
I am.
I don't know.
You can't see it in this light. So.
I don't know.
I'm never going to go grey or grow facial hair, so hey ho.
Not 19 forever.
Yeah,
No,
quite.
exactly.
Nice. Okay, thanks so much for coming in.
It's been a
Thank
real
you,
pleasure.
Mark.
Thanks so much for having us, Mark.
Brilliant. What a start to a Tuesday. Cool. That set me up for the day. Check out everything to do with Twisted. We'll put all the notes in. Just give the guys your support. Give the guys your love on social, and please get down to the pop-up bar if you can.
Exactly.
And we'll give you all the info we can. So thanks again.
Thanks again.
Thank you very much.
Thanks so much to Harry Bamber and Tom Jackson, the co-heads of Twisted, for coming in to the spectacular podcast today. Hopefully, some of you will find some real inspiration to take the chance to get the job that you really want, and also start making the content that you really need to promote your brand and your company. Don't forget to check out Twisted on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram too. Please check out the podcast notes for more information on Twisted. Thanks to everyone who has written a review, gets in touch on a weekly basis, and shares the podcast with one friend. Some really good news. We've now reached over 10,000 downloads of the podcast since we've started, and we also reached number 62 in the iTunes business charts last week. So thank you so much for listening. It means such a big deal to us. Thanks also to Gaz, Gabby and Mihal for all of their hard work in putting the podcast together every single week. I'm Mark McCulloch, and this was spectacular.